This is On Air with JP. On today's show with 2026 here, what are we prioritizing when it comes to healthy eating for the new year? Is there a better driver on the road than you? The nitty-gritty, meal prep ideas to keep things fresh, literally. Did you know pineapples are such an interesting fruit? Girl Scout cookie season is here, and we'll talk about good people doing good things. Let's get to it. I am betting that at the top of your, well, maybe it wasn't even a resolution, but one of the things that you probably wanted to do kicking off the new year was eat healthy, maybe lose some weight, just take better care of yourself. I'm thinking that we all are at that stage at the end of the year, moving forward into a new year. In fact, a new survey of 5,000 Americans say that, yeah, and it says that people are also shopping different while they think about health this year. More than half, about 60%, plan to intentionally prioritize protein into the diets. In fact, I started, it was probably mid-November, just focusing on more often than not trying to eat healthy, and then really jumped on it on New Year's Day. I'm down a little over 3 pounds since then. I'll take it. Every pound is a good step forward. So intentionally prioritizing protein in their diets. So we're talking about dinner and breakfast mostly. Eggs, chicken, cheese, meats, most popular pick. Dairy is a big one still. In fact, shoppers say that taste, budget, and family preferences still the biggest factors in what they buy, but really wanting to focus on protein in the diets. My roommate jumped back on the carnivore diet, and 3 days in, he's like, man, I think I've hit a wall already. We're also doing dry January. I'm like, what, did dry January get into you? So, no, I'm just tired of eating the same stuff all the time 3 days in. So change it up. Meats, veggies, and fruit. So if you're doing that, you're not alone. Average household spending about $111 a week on groceries. Whew. Although I'd hate to calculate what my monthly or weekly budget would have been when I was going to fast food more often. Yeah, I know that my bank account is thankful for the changes that I've made so far this year. Have you ever noticed that there's not a better driver on the road than you? You are the cream of the crop. Anyone driving faster than you is a complete lunatic. Oh, look at that lunatic. It's not a race, pal. Anyone driving slower than you, no idea what they're doing. What are you doing? Go! I bet you have some favorite sayings while you're behind the wheel in traffic. Here are some of mine. I kind of muddled one of them here just a moment. Go! Go! I yell that all the time. Here's another one. If you've listened for a while, you know that this is true. Oh, I knew you wouldn't know which lane to turn into. Turn into the closest lane, and you're good. Here's another one. Of course you didn't understand the yield sign in a roundabout. What are you doing? What are you doing? Go! Those are some of my favorites. Does any of those ring a bell? Yesterday, actually, I had to apologize, however, after realizing that the person that I was complaining about in front of me actually made the correct driving decision. So it was a good thing. Also, speeding up just to run a red light doesn't change the fact that you still ran a red light. And can I say this again? Turn your dang headlights on. Running lights, something. And after 5 o'clock, make sure your headlights are on, please. Can you put your car, turn auto headlights on? How hard is that? My buddy Coulter says I should start a driving 101 class, and I don't disagree. I was wrong. My first prediction of 2026, not even close to being accurate. I thought that Luke Combs would drop his album before the end of this month. It's not coming until March 20th. He announced earlier today that The Way I Am will be out on March 20th. Mix of high-energy anthems, storytelling songs, and he's getting set for his My Kind of Saturday Night tour, which will kick off in Vegas on March 21st. So coinciding. He's got stops all over North America, Europe, and he'll play Wembley Stadium in London. So I'm sure he's going to have a bunch of special guests during the tour as well. So March 20th, new album, The Way I Am. Garth, teasing big things for 2026. His new message saying, it's all on the table. He's got a couple of things already lined up. 2 Summerfest shows in Milwaukee, June 16th and 17th. A massive headliner at London's Hyde Park on June 27th. So June's kind of busy for him. He says, right now, nothing beyond those dates. But you know what? I got to take the music to the people. Taking the music to the people. Not quite sure what that means. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, though. Another world tour? It's possible. That is the nitty-gritty. A lot of talk to start the year, seems like every year, in regards to meals and losing weight and healthy options. And this is kind of a cool thing on meal planning. I have done meal planning, prepping, however you want to say it. And by the 4th or 5th day, it's just like, man, it's just too much. And I just don't think it tastes good after, a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, maybe 3 days tops. So the suggestion that I read earlier today, smarter, more flexible strategies when it comes to meal prepping, instead of batch cooking and reheating the same dish every day, people are now saying prep the components. So prep proteins, grains, veggies, and be ready to mix and match. That way your meals feel fresh and varied without, a long Sunday of meal prepping and then the same thing for almost every meal throughout the week. So have multiple things ready to go. And then freezer-friendly recipes like soups or casseroles, different things. Those are good ideas. I'm not a meal prepper, but I do like to have a couple of different options to heat up, and then I've got a variety of vegetables lying around. Again, this is stuff that I've been trying to do since the end of last year, and it seems to have kicked me off into a good 2026 as well. So instead of chicken and rice combo, the same ingredients in that chicken and rice combo for 5 days, change it up and have multiple things ready to go. So not a bad idea. They say it's all about making meal planning work for your life and not the other way around. I never knew that pineapples grew on the ground until I took my first trip to Hawaii a handful of years ago. And I didn't realize that. I thought I was dumb for not knowing that. I guess a majority of people don't realize that pineapples grow in the ground and not on trees. They are also a very patient fruit. 18 months to 2 full years for just one pineapple. That is a long time. And each plant usually only produces one pineapple. They are not grown from seeds. Farmers actually plant the leafy top, the crown of another pineapple to start the process all over again. That's crazy. 18 months to 2 years for one grown and ripe pineapple from one flower. So that pineapple that you're in a smoothie or you like to chop, I love pineapples. And I just assumed that they grew on a tree like coconuts. I don't know. Crazy. I didn't know, and maybe you didn't either, and now you do. We are into an all-new season, friends. Girl Scout cookie season is upon us. And there are a couple of changes for this year. Explore More's a new cookie. It is basically a Rocky Road-inspired sandwich cookie. Chocolate marshmallow, toasted almond-covered cream. Celebrating the adventurous spirit of Girl Scouts. So Explore More's are new, but they had to get rid of a couple. So that means the Girl Scout s'mores and Toastiers are gone. Get out of here. The s'more cookie wouldn't have been bad. The Toastier didn't look really good to me. The favorites like Thin Mints, the Samoas, Tagalongs and Thin Mints. Why does anybody buy anything else? Let's see, the Toffee Tastics, the Do-si-dos are back. Trefoils are back too. And if you want to if you don't know anybody that's got a Girl Scout going to town, through basically April, You'll see them set up at different locations and businesses as the scouts learn life skills while funding. You can text cookies to 59618, 59618, or you can use the Girl Scout Cookie Finder online to find out where Girl Scouts will be. Most of us, I think, know somebody that's doing Girl Scout cookies. We usually have a handful of people come down to the bowling alley and hit us up weekly for the Girl Scout cookies. Maybe not this year, though. For me, anyway. We'll see how that goes, though. Going to British Columbia for our good people doing good things. And it was a early morning motel fire that may have ended in disaster. But one person woke up and then thought from a deep sleep to, I got to get going here. Her name is Elizabeth Manson. She's the mom of three. She woke up about 3 a.m. on the day after Christmas, Boxing Day in Canada. Not like fighting, but boxing up stuff. She woke up in the hotel. Smoke was filling the room at the Value Lodge. At first, she didn't think anything of it. You know, like most of people, I just want to go back to sleep. And then she shot up and said, oh, God, this isn't good. So she got her kids up and started to get out the door. And then she's like, I got to get other people up. So she was running up and down the hallway, pounding and shouting to fellow guests to wake them up, which she did. Among those that was saved is Nicole Joseph, who later thanked her for literally saving his life. He had only seconds to get out of his hotel room, and he had to jump from the second floor balcony with his dog. Elizabeth is reflecting on the ordeal, saying, I almost went back to sleep, but something made me get up. She realized there was smoke, but then she wanted to go back to sleep, and then bang, up she goes. Her courage that night proves how one person's quick actions and thoughts and instincts can go to work and save a bunch of people's lives. Nice work. Elizabeth Manson, good people doing good things. Thanks for listening, and get the full show with your favorite songs and artists each weekday between 2 and 7 on 105 The Hawk.